Anyway, let's move on because David Brady joins us now to talk to us. We've been talking a good bit about Kerry already. We may as well roll straight in and start talking about Mayo. David, good morning to you. How you doing?
Morning, Doug. How's it going, buddy?
What was your level of concern coming away from the game at the weekend? So, if anybody missed it, Galway squeaked out a win in Mayo against the Mayo side, who looked like they were kind of rolling in the second half for a while and getting back into it and probably going to kick on and win the game, but they just didn't manage to do that. So what's your level of concern at the moment?
Probably my concern, Jerry, is the fluidity, I think, from some of Mayo's playing, especially in it's been plain to see in the last couple of games in the forward line. Like, you know, we knew coming into the game weather conditions and everything else was not going to be good, but I honestly feel that Galway went out with a more precise and conducive plan to play with conditions. And from the very start, Galway put massive pressure on David Clark's scouts. Now, they did this by letting Mayo keep 3 forwards versus 2 Galway backs. So Galway said, right, the wind is so strong, they're not going to be of any threat. Let's have one of our full back line go up and put pressure on David Clark right in front of his nose, 20 yards out. So he was covering so much space. It was just an option that there was massive pressure put on Mayo, and that's what gave Galway the foundation for a first half lead of about 7 points. But look, it is 2015 since the last time Mayo managed to beat Galway in competitive football, and that for me, honestly, I didn't see that hunger or that willingness to end that run for vast quantities of the game. Now, yes, there was a period where the last 10 minutes Mayo came back to a point, but it was to say, right, what's the simplest things to do now? And it wasn't that the wrong options were taken, it was that the wrong percentages. And you're going, if you have the ball and you're maintaining possession, you know, the shot will open. If it's not, it's up to the defensive team like Galway to say, right, let's be disciplined and not give away a free. And in conditions like what we had on Saturday night, they're always going to be conducive to someone putting a hand in or someone getting an easy free, and that's what takes you back into a game, not a score from 55 yards out. But if I was impressed overall with Galway. I was impressed with some of their younger players as well. You know, and it's especially the likes of David Connacht. He was in a corner forward, half back on Lee Keegan for the night, and he was very lively, very tricky, kept Lee very busy and out of the Mayo game from an attacking context.
David, is it far too knee-jerky to say now at this point that Galway are the number 1 team in Connacht?
Not at all. Galway have been the number 1 team in Connacht for the last 4 or 5 years, and trophies prove that. Not getting to an Ireland final does not get you a prize to say now you're the best. The Connacht Championship has been as competitive championship in the whole of the country, and if you look at it, that's formed on the basis where you have 2 to 3 teams. When we see Roscommon put up a very good show against Dublin yesterday, you have 2 or 3 teams that can win the Connacht Championship.
Can I play devil's advocate for a second, David? Because so the Connacht, all of the provincial titles have largely been devalued by the fact that what happens in Croke Park afterwards is what matters. Mayo are the only team in Connacht to get close to Dublin, bringing them to an All-Ireland final replay. We've never seen Galway put up a performance like that in Croke Park at any stage over the Kevin Walsh era. So while I understand the point you're making, in Connacht, Galway can go, oh, we're the best team in Connacht, but in the All-Ireland, Mayo have definitely been the better team.
They've been the second best team in every All-Ireland they played. Now, again, I will be straight out there and saying that losing in Ireland by a point and putting up a fantastic display, or giving away two own goals, or giving away silly decisions at crucial times in the game, that doesn't necessarily make it the best team in Connacht either. I would without a doubt, and I put my hand up and say, Galway have railroaded Mayo in the last couple of years, and there's a common denominator there, and that's Kevin Walsh as well. The way he sets his teams up, and like to win Connacht in the way that Galway have it at home. Like Mayo's home record now it's not an advantage anymore. You're losing consistently on a regular basis in Connacht Championships or in National League. Last year we had the worst percentage nearly away. We had MacHale Park is not the cauldron that it once was, and it's not respected by the opposition, because you're going, you know what, and this is the common denominator, and I go back to the start. When you have teams that set up in a defensive system, defensively pack their defence to make it hard on Mayo, so Mayo don't get them runners coming through. They don't get the counter breaks from the Keith Higgins, from the Lee Higgins, from the Colin Boyles going through. When you can set up in a defensive system, and what Galway we all said it was Paddy Tally and everything else in the last year or whatever. It's still continuing. He's not there. It's coming from Kevin Watson. Let's start with defence and work on it from there. But I, for one, wouldn't buy into the notion that a good performance in an All-Ireland final, or being the only team to compete in an All-Ireland final to a degree against Dublin in the last 4 or 5 years, makes you the best team in Connacht.
Right. What's your sense in terms of what this is, in terms of what this James Horan project is for Mayo? Is it going to be, at best, a one-hit wonder where he goes and has one last punch at Dublin, perhaps in an All-Ireland final, and perhaps, in the best-case scenario, come away with Sam Maguire? Or is he actually looking to the future now, David? What's your take on what this project is?
He's trying to do the best of what he has, and that's being honest. But, James did come at the start of the season and saying it was about the future, it was about building, it was about looking forward. But there was an event we had this year just before Christmas, and he says, let's not get confused here. He said, Mayo are out to win, and it's out to compete, and it's not to be beaten by anyone. And again, they will not be happy. Mayo will not be happy. James Horan will not be happy if he doesn't have silverware of some shape or form coming back to Mayo in the form of a Connacht title. And the supporters won't be happy either. But the one thing I do say is I loved the like of Matthew Rowan, who played midfield on Saturday night. He's coming from the under-21s. He was excellent. He worked immensely hard. Right, James Durkin played his first National League game. Now, he played 4 championship games last year, but how did the player only play his first National League game on the first weekend of March? You know, these guys should have been brought in a long time ago. Darren Cohn, very good footballer, took 3 or 4 bad options. He was playing full forward, was out around the 40, 45, scored 1 excellent point. But you're going, you know what? Learn from it. Don't do it again. Or if you do it again, make sure it counts. Now, there's good young fellas coming up, and he's trying to blend both. But if you look at it, the vast base, and 90% of this team is going to be based on the Keith Higgins, the Chris Barretts, Harrisons, Keegans, the Vaughans, the O'Sheas, and the O'Connors. The Emma came back Saturday night. Killian is a little bit off, but it's going to be based on what you've always had. The key players from Mayo that have brought them to where they've got to in Ireland finals. Yeah.
I can understand why you would do that, though, especially when it's your first year back. So, look, let's park Mayo discussion for a minute. I want to ask you about the other performances of the weekend. From Mayo's perspective, they're on the same side of the draw. Obviously, they've got the New York game, and after that, it is Leitrim or Sligo. Sorry, it's Leitrim or Roscommon. Pre-season, everybody would have said, well, that's a straightforward, Roscommon are going to win that. And Roscommon are doing really well, but Leitrim have obviously just got promoted. So let's hope they can maintain their form and roll into the championship. Roscommon against Dublin was one of those games where Roscommon looked like they've built on what they've been doing for the last couple of seasons. And, you know, it was the type of sticky performance that maybe we weren't entirely sure Roscommon had in them.
No, but at the end of the day, it was Roscommon have, and again, if you look back, and it's you know what Kevin McStay brought in was a lot of youth and a lot of opportunity, and them guys have taken the opportunity, but they haven't been overawed by it. Like yesterday's game was when Dublin got the goal and went 4 points up, you're going, you know what, game over, job done. But no, and again, it goes back to the likes of Cathal Craig being immense, Conor Devaney. When he got a second yellow card, that was the end of it. You can't. It's hard enough to beat Dublin 15 against 15. But if you're down 14, if you're down to 14 men, it does make it very hard. But you make it hard for Dublin. The conditions and defensively, Roscommon played them to a T yesterday, and I think Anthony Cunningham has added to what the likes of Kevin McStay has done and Fergie Dolan before that. You go to yourself. They have brought young teams on, and their defensive structure is very, very good, and that's the basis of what you're seeing in a lot of the teams. Even you go to the Leitrim's, their defensive structure they have tightened up defensively, and it's methodically as well. they have a system now that they're becoming accustomed and they're happy to play with. And you're saying, you know what? Yes, we do break up the channels from the left and right when we do break down ball, but it's they're going defensive number one now in GAA, and after that you look to try and score more than the other team.
David, we'll let you go. Good stuff this morning. Thanks a million for joining us.
Cheers, guys.